Welcome to Jungo Vibes, the podcast for creative entrepreneurs from all over the world. Make sure you subscribe on your preferred podcast service or watch us on YouTube. Let's go. Hey, so welcome to Jungo Vibes, the podcast for creative entrepreneurs. I'm here with Mil. He's from Ohio, Cleveland, Ohio. Am I saying that correctly?
Yeah.
And he has such an amazing concept, an amazing company, really promoting, Black products. It's now Black History Month, so it's an amazing opportunity to now interview you. So I will just, let you introduce yourself. Who are you, and what is your company about?
Okay. How you doing? First, I want to say thanks for having me on the interview. And before I get started, I wanted to make sure we was filming. So I put this up. Something came in the mail.
Yeah, you got it. You got my book. That's so amazing.
So I wanted to make sure I did that on the air. So I want to give a shout out to that. Matter of fact, where can they find this at? What am I holding up right now?
Yes, Black Suns. So, oh my God. So my book, Black Suns, it's an Afro science fiction book, a children's book I wrote, 8 to 12 years, but it's, for the inner child in us all. You can find it on Amazon.com. Just go there, type in Black Suns. Santini is my name, and then it will pop up and you can just order it. And you have it already. I'm so happy. Thank you for your support, because this is what it's about, supporting each other in business. So I'm really happy. Really
Yeah.
grateful. Yeah. So enjoy reading.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah.
So that's gonna segue me into speaking about Black Wallstreet Empire.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we're here to talk about. Black Wallstreet Empire is a company that I'm a co-CEO of. I reached out to you to be on your podcast to promote that. And basically, Black Wallstreet Empire started out as a study group. So I'm gonna go into because it's going talking about how it started, where it's going, and and the vision for it is going to take me into a lot of different conversations about our community, the Black community, independence, wealth, and awareness. So Black Wallstreet Empire starts out as a study group. Of course, let me ask you, are you familiar with the name Black Wall Street?
Yes, I am.
Are you familiar with Black Wall Street?
Yes, I am, but I don't know the whole backstory, but I do know, that, well, you have to explain to me. But for me personally, also to get back to the book, because I'm from Amsterdam, the Netherlands. Originally, my parents are from the Caribbean, Suriname, South America. Most of the people don't know where Suriname is, but they know the famous Dutch football players who are actually Surinamese, like you have Seedorf, you have Patrick Kluivert, that was from back in the day, but now you have a lot of football players who are from there who are actually Surinamese. But and now I'm at this moment in Ghana, West Africa. So as a digital nomad, I have decided to. I've lived in the US before, I've lived in the Caribbean, lived in Europe, of course, and then now I'm in Ghana. So that's why also this book came to mind, to make the illustrator is also a Ghanaian illustrator, and he made all the drawings. And I really wanted to create a role model for kids so that they can see themselves as superheroes. And I think that will tie into your story, because if you have that identity, and also learn that you can trust each other. We as Black people can trust each other, so we can do business together. Then you can create that empire. That's my interpretation of Black Wall Street, like having all of the industries, banking, mining, whatever, Black owned. But let me know how do you see it? Because your company is called Black Wallstreet Empire. So tell me.
Now that name is interesting. So you being in Ghana in West Africa, right? Is going to tie into the name Black Wallstreet Empire. So it started out. I'm gonna start off by explaining me, a brother, one of my brothers named Poet, which was the co-CEO of the company, and then we had another brother named Amin Ra, who's not with us anymore. Peace be upon the brother Amin Ra, right? So we started Black Wallstreet Empire. It was three of us. It started out as a study group, just about learning information and presenting learning information and being able to come to our communities and present this information to our people, a certain body of information. Now, the name came about through me and Amin Ra. Amin Ra came up with Black Wall Street. Now that's going to take me to Black Wall Street, which is a business district in the early 1920s in America. After pre-slavery was a bunch of Black people after coming out of slavery. At the time of integration in America, they actually formed their own business district in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where it was a commercial business district where they had their own airports, they had their own bus lines, they had their own schools, everything, things that we don't have as a people today. This is at the time of integration.
Yeah.
I mean, no, this is pre-integration. Yeah. Okay. So that's where, I'm not going to go into Black Wall Street too much, but that's where the name comes from, because the concept behind Black Wall Street Empire is to become economically independent and also to teach our people to become economically independent. Now, that's where the Black Wall Street comes from. I put the word empire on it, and then you get Black Wall Street Empire. Now, for those that don't know what an empire is, that concept actually comes from West Africa. Through my studies and researches in West Africa, and on the continent of Africa, you had different countries that in the, I'm gonna say like the 19, I mean, yeah, like, well, the 19, from like the, no, 19, not 19, sorry about that. The 14, from like the 700s to the 1400s, you had different countries in Africa, which was called empires, but how they became empires was interesting. And that's like and I'm gonna get into the concept behind Black Wall Street Empire, but what would happen in West Africa, you would have municipalities. You had, first you would start out with tribes. So you being in West Africa, I'm sure you're familiar with tribes. You would have what the whole concept of growing into an empire was interesting to me. First, it would be families. Families would come together and form tribes. Tribes would come together and form municipalities. And when municipalities would come together, that would form an empire. Now, today, when you look at the corporate structure in the European world, they basically took that structure to form corporations.
Exactly.
So that's their business model nowadays. So one thing that we don't do as a people is we allow these Europeans to come and basically take all of our ancient concepts and then form their own empires behind it. And we don't study our own history and then apply that history until today's, to what we do today. So that's where the concept of empire came from on the name. So it was like Black Wall Street, which we're in the process of trying to duplicate something that was done by our current ancestors. And then empire is we trying to duplicate a concept that was done by our ancient ancestors. Amazing. So, and of course, and then in my research, you have different empires in West Africa that I studied the philosophies from, which is Ghana. You had the Ghana Empire, you had the Songhai Empire, you had the Moroccan Empire, you had the Mali Empire. These are all empires that were powerful empires in like between the 700s and 1400s, where they basically controlled the whole commercial world of West Africa. Wow. So, and most of our people don't know this. Like you had Mansa Musa. I don't know if you're familiar with Mansa Musa.
I've heard of, yes. He still is, I think, the richest man ever. That's what
richest man ever. He was right. He was the king of the Mali Empire. You had someone named Sunni Ali, who was the king of the Songhai Empire. These are people that they don't teach us about in history, that were like powerful figures that basically control the world. But we hear about, the European.
Even here, it's not taught. Even here in West Africa, it's not it's that I was so shocked, but it's also logical that happens because there's still a lot of oppression basically in that way, like educational, that the education is controlled by, in this case, Ghana. It is the UK, I assume, is behind it, because there is people do have an intrinsic knowing of their family and where they come from. And they do know they have their own family lineages, and I mean there are kings and people who kingdoms here, but that there is still such a awe for Europe and US, like even in Africa, like there's so many people who like me who are here, but also even Ghanaians themselves who have traveled in different African countries here, they're like, don't only think about the US or Europe, think about going to Tanzania, go to South Africa, go to, you know, explore your own continent. But everyone is just so focused on US and Europe. Like, that's the whole like oh, that's heaven or something. And then you really and that's not it. Well, I'm now in Accra, it's an international city. In the north is different. I heard, I haven't been to the north of Ghana yet, but there people really have the pride of their own. So it's also different in different parts of the country. And I only can speak for Ghana right now, but it's really a thing that I see here. Like, people don't know the riches and their talent, and there's so many amazing artists, like visual artists, but also like music artists, but also tech people. Everything is here, but they don't see, a lot of them don't see their value. And we really have to build also as diaspora people from the US or from Europe to build into that. So it's really interesting what you're studying, and I really say it's here also needed to know your history. Yes.
That's very interesting. Yeah, colonization got us all. You know, white supremacy got us all over the planet. But that's where we fighting to change over here at Black Wallstreet Empire. And, you know, not just here. It's a lot of people on the continent. In the times that we in, you know, we in the age of Aquarius, so we're in the information age. So it's a steady fight and a struggle. Sorry about that. That was my phone. It's a fight and a struggle, you know, for information. But that's going to, you know, take me into a lot of that I want to talk about in the interview, because we are in the time for change.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? We in a time right now where a lot of people are really about being independent, and it's a lot of opportunities for independence out here. I mean, it's a lot of opportunities for independence, period, in the times that we in. So, and the information is readily available to us too. You know, we need more people that's pushing the information. That's why I like working with the youth and everything to educate them. But you know, we have to take the chains off of our mind, like you said, and quit seeing the other white as superior and see ourselves as superior. And that's where I'm gonna go. You know, when I start talking about branding and everything, I'm gonna go into that a little bit.
Yeah.
But that's the concept behind Black Wallstreet Empire. So it's really a West African, it's an American, ancient American concept of a business district, and then there was an ancient African concept that goes into the name. Now, when you start talking about what we actually do at the company, it's kind of like built around that concept too. Is I have several different products, and I have several investments that I'm into that kind of like all come together and form an empire. Yeah. So it's like, you know, in the direction that we going in and trying to build, you know, economic wealth for our community. I'm into land investing. I'm into real estate investing. I have brands, product brands, and I have product brands, real estate investment. I have so much I can't even think about. Remember really everything building that empire off the top of my head. Yeah. Also, work with the youth. We have I'm
just scrolling right now because I saw something interesting, because I was like, I saw on the website blackwallstreetempire.com for everyone listening or watching right now. Just go take a look, because I saw from merchandise,
we do youth sponsorship,
black soap, camels. You do sponsorship as well?
Youth sponsorships. That's what I was trying to think of. We do youth sponsorships, sponsor youth organizations.
Oh, that's amazing.
And this year we're gonna do a lot more. We do education. We got Brother Poet, who's my partner. He do a lot of educating people on public and private economics and commerce. So it's like it's a lot, you know, it's a lot incorporated into the company, but that's the whole concept of the empire. You know, I just took like the West African concept of the empire and took it into a business, you know, and transformed it into business.
I really love that. I didn't see all the things about the youth on the website, but that's something you do separately. So the website is only for the products?
The website is just for the products, but if you go to my social media page, you will see a lot of stuff about it.
Okay, so where can people
Black
find
Wallstreet Empire?
Yeah.
Huh? Go ahead.
people find you on social media? Can you spell it out for the people the person listening on the podcast so that we have that?
Black Wallstreet Empire
Mm-hmm.
.com_7. So there's Black BLACK
Yes.
WALLSTREET.com_7. And that's Instagram.
Yeah.
That's Instagram. And I got it's a lot. You would have to scroll down the page, but I got like a lot of stuff on there working with the youth and all the products and services and everything. So that's basically the concept and everything behind Black Wallstreet. Before we get into like the products and services and stuff. Mm-hmm. Also, before we get into products and stuff, that's the concept. So it's the ancient Black business district plus a West African concept of creating an empire, which the whole corporate structure is based off of. Yeah. So we basically taking back our information and our knowledge.
Yes. I love that. I love that. But it is very interesting also the youth. I'm scrolling now on Instagram. And I see all the things that you have been doing and Shop Black and amazing. So what is for you think your vision, because you had 3 founders, well now you're with 2 people. Do you as founders do you see yourself creating this empire, not only in the US, but also coming to West Africa or to the Caribbean? Or what is your vision to build this out, maybe on an international scale as well?
Yes, definitely. Africa is Africa is the end game for me, the continent of Africa. I know someone who lives in Ghana. And I have a friend who...
Now you know another one. Now you know another one.
Right. We'll have to come there and check you out. Yeah. But I've actually been dealing in talks or rubbing elbows with people that's been going to the continent. I have a friend, a Set, who is a business partner and an associate. When she see this podcast, shout out to a Set. She actually been going back and forth to Tanzania. So, when I get a chance to get with her, we're gonna try to do some things in Tanzania for sure. And I like I said, I know people I know someone in Ghana, and I've talked to somebody who go back and forth with Ghana before. So definitely Ghana. I've actually thought about moving to Ghana, like when I get my economic situation right.
I'm telling you, because here it is, there's such a big community of people from outside of Ghana. Like even I have people from who have Congolese background, but they're from Paris. I have people from the UK. There are people from the US. I made a friend here. I have lived in LA before 2 years, and then now I made a friend here. I didn't know her in LA, but I met her here. So and she is also going back and forth now, and she's doing things with yoga and she's now having a podcast about like dating between, we from the West still with African heritage and then being back in Africa. So there's a whole thing here, with Ghana is really like they say it's like the gateway to Africa, because it's a very peaceful country. It's it's kind of easy going. It's not too hard. You find an Airbnb or a hotel, you book, you rent a place, and you're here, and you travel around with Uber, the same Uber app you use as in the US. Only the Ubers are not as fancy, but that doesn't matter. And you just, you roam around, you go have every type of food you want to eat. You can eat the local foods, but you can also get your whatever, New York pizza, Burger King, or whatever you like. Or your sushi, or I love like all types of food. So for me, having good restaurants is so important. You can find everything here, and the thing is, it's such an international city. People think often, and I was also guilty of that. Even people think about Amsterdam, they think about white people. Well, there are 180 nationalities in the Netherlands. I mean, everything is there, and that's the same here. There are so many tribes, even from Ghana, and like people speak different languages. Most spoken is 3, but you also have Gang, you also have Anyway, you have so many other languages spoken here, so not everyone even understands each other. In that way, that's why everyone also speaks English. So you can always speak English. So it's very accessible. And there is this thing, which was also new to me, called privilege here. So here we are being seen as white people. Yeah, it's really a weird concept. It's still not in my head. Yes, because of the way you talk. When they hear you talk, you're automatically seen in their mind as white. Yes. So
Because you
you have,
speak English?
doors are being
Because you
open
speak.
for you because you are from the US or you're from Europe, that are not open for other Ghanaians. Yes.
Mm.
It's really weird. When you hear, you're
Mm.
like, also, we with our brown skin are being called fair skin. Like we're light skinned for people here. To me, I'm still mind blown for that concept. I'm just a brown girl. I'm black. You know, don't call me light or whatever. Doesn't matter. I mean, but for me, it's weird. So it's so different. Those kind of things, and sometimes I really need to make sure it also works the other way around. If people hear your accent, that they maybe up the price sometimes a bit. You know, because not everything is
I've
price.
heard that. I've heard that about
Yeah.
Africa.
So, but the
I've
same
heard
thing
that
applies.
about other places too.
Yeah, it's the same thing for me when I go back to the Caribbean, to Suriname, and they hear that I have a Dutch accent compared to the Surinamese people. Then it's the same. So, you know, but there are a lot of opportunities. You just always have to be aware of people. People always want to take advantage, but that's everywhere in the world. You know, but if you know, just do your thing and have an open mind, and the way that you have learned to structure things, that will get you very far, because a lot of things are not so structured here, and it will,
Mm.
yeah, it will take you very far if you have a structured way of thinking, like a Western thinking, like how you build up your things, how you set up your things, um, import export to the US, but also within Africa, it's booming. There's so much to do, but people need guidance. People, I have some interns that work for me, and I've teach them how to do social media, you know, how to create like visual or graphics that are just nice for Instagram and those kind of things. Working with free tools like Canva, or working with Planoly to plan, you know, schedule your Instagram post, those kind of things, like those kind of skills, digital skills. That's my thing to teach about the people about, because I love that. And NFTs and those kind of things. That is really helping them, or how to set up a e-commerce store, because they don't have access to the bank accounts that we like. They cannot open a PayPal, for example, which is for us, we can just have a PayPal. So if you partner with someone who is selling amazing local, I don't know, fabrics, or there's so much, and you partner with them or you buy it in from them, you just sell it. You just do e-commerce. There are so many people who have thrived off of that and are still thriving in that space, because the online part, people are not really like, they use online, they use TikTok, they use Instagram, but for entertainment, not for business so much. There are a lot who do, because I know, you know, top designers who are here in Ghana and they sell worldwide, and you have that class of people who do that, but it's a certain bracket of people who have been exposed to, you know, living abroad, or their parents have been living abroad, or, you know, it's a little bit like that. So, but for the general public, like, to keep it like, they really need that education to advance.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, it's a whole lot. I'm now here 1.5 years almost, and I'm telling you, it's you really need to visit and check it out and see how much that people who feel hopeless in the US can really feel useful here, because you see how much you have, how much skills, and how much um, insight you have. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
incredible.
that Ghana is definitely in my sights. Like I said, that's my end game. I
Mm-hmm.
plan on coming there within a year or two, but I
Yeah.
definitely want to get real estate there. And my concept is, you know, America. What I know about America and Europe, they spend billions of dollars to control the resources in Africa. I mean,
Sure.
they send the military over there. They got military bases all over Africa. just to control the resources for the land and the resources. So I look at it like, you know, if the country that I live in is going to the continent to take their resources to monetize it all over the planet, like, I mean, that's what we should be doing. You know what I'm saying? This is the Europe and America spend billions of dollars to control the resources in Africa. So if I want wealth, it would make sense for me to follow that model to go there, but to have good intentions behind what I'm trying to do there.
Exactly.
And not,
That's
you know,
the difference.
try to exploit the continent the way they do. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's the difference. And that's why I really encourage people to, you know, if you can take a vacation to where do people go? St. Barth or Bahamas or whatever. You can also come here, you know, take a vacation, especially in December. It's really lit. It's like, it's amazing. It's so amazing here. So many parties, people go all out. There is also not that much like, I know when I live in the US, when I came from a club, there was always this tension, like what's gonna happen. You don't have that, you know. Even in Amsterdam, you have that, like the tension, people can fight and whatever. You don't have that here. The only fights that happen, because I also organized a big festival here in December, and the only fight that happened, and it happened also there briefly, but was between people from the diaspora. The Ghanaians won't do that, you know. They just don't resort to violence like that, and that's also, you know, so refreshing. And that people, you know, see the black man or the black woman or whatever as aggressive and a threat. And of course, every country and every tribe has their own, you know, aggression level or whatever you want to call it. But that is so far from, you know, people ask me, "Oh, you're in Ghana, is it safe?" Yes, it's safer than I've also seen shootings in Amsterdam, and there are those things there. People, it's a drug hub of Europe, of the world. I mean, you know, I have literally seen shootings when I was just in a normal neighborhood, not any ghetto, whatever. So yeah, things happen, and I'm not saying that it cannot happen here, but the frequency is just it's just so different. People are really grinding, they're really trying to survive, they're really family oriented. It's a whole other mentality. So I just want people to experience as much as they can. That's why I've also started for myself a vlog now for my Dutch, like it's in Dutch, in the Dutch language, so that I could really also, because I do a lot of English content, but I could also explain to, you know, Dutch people, Surinamese people, people from my background. They are also they're from the Caribbean, but they're also very much like, you know, if we go on vacation, we go back to Suriname. So not exploring so many other avenues and other countries. And just even in the Caribbean, like Africa is like this distant thing. While in the Caribbean, we have so many African roots. In my culture, the way we dress when we have traditional parties or whatever is the same as how they dress here. It's so the same. But people, you know, we're really dispersed all over. And my wish also, that's why I also do this book, and that's why I also do this podcast. I just want to bring that together, and I feel that you are on a similar mission. So that's really nice to see.
Definitely on that mission. So you say you organize the festival. You are a promoter in Ghana?
Yeah, so I do events.
Like you promote events?
Yes, I do event organizing. So basically my company is called Jungo, and that's why Jungo Vibe. Jungo means connecting in Latin, but I do events. I'm also an event host. I've done a lot of corporate events, mostly conferences, but then the pandemic came and there were no conferences anymore. So I kind of rolled here into the party scene. Yeah, I did a big event with 8 artists from South Africa. So last year, December, I went to South Africa. We had a whole press conference there. And then we brought 8 of the top artists from there. They make amapiano music, which is a real amazing music style, South African music. Go check it out. And they performed here in Ghana. And for them, it's also like being abroad, because it's a 6-hour flight to South Africa. For me, also from Ghana, it's a 6-hour flight to the Netherlands. Like, people don't understand how big the continent is. It was the same 6 hours, but then the other way to South Africa for me, as it is for me to go to the Netherlands. Like, Spain is 3-hour flight from here. I mean, people cannot even comprehend, like, okay, you know? So, yeah, that's what I do, amongst others. So event organizing, um, book writing, podcast, and then also social media marketing. And yeah, just teaching people how to enhance their business, especially our people.
So if I was to come to the continent with someone, could you help us, or would you be interested in partnering with us to do some promotions, or showing us the ropes on the continent?
Yes, I mean, I'm here. So, I have a lot.
I'm serious. I'm
Yeah,
serious.
I know. No, I'm serious too. I mean, I have a big network here. Like, that's what I do. Like in the Netherlands, and you can still look it up. If you Google my name, you will see a lot of Dutch articles. They called me the networking queen. I always know how to make connections very quickly. So that's my skill, my God-given skill. So for me, I could bring you into contact with a whole lot of people. I mean, this is, for example, the biggest water brand in Ghana, Blackwatch, called. It's owned by Lebanese. There are a lot of Lebanese people, so from Lebanon, who are having big companies here because they are seen as, yeah, basically they're white compared to, of course, the people here. And then it opens doors. It is what it is. I mean, it's not fair, but it's what it is. So they have big companies also. And I know people from that company. I know people from. So I'm a little bit in everything. So I'm open to share my network. That's what we're here for. Some people will say they're open to share the network and they won't. But I'm just, I'm an open book. I mean, we're all here to help each other. So.
No, I'm gonna come partner with you. I'm gonna come to Ghana. We're gonna do some big things.
Come to Ghana, especially in December. December.
Why December?
December is the new. December in Ghana is, with the whole holidays. There are so many parties. Every day is a feast. Like, you can go to 5-6 clubs in. I mean, there was a Snapchat of a friend of mine, and it was showing that even at 5 or 6 a.m., people were still standing in line to go to a club because people hop, from place to place. Even now, I can go out, I can go to a bar. They do a lot of karaoke here. People love karaoke and just chilling and hanging out. Like, you can go to so many places. There's such a vibrant nightlife. But in December, everyone comes to Ghana. Like, who was here? Chance the Rapper was here last month. It was almost 2 months ago. Who else? Some models, amazing models. Who was here again? So many people. Like Wizkid came to perform. There was this big festival called Afro with 10,000 people. Yeah, like Uzoma St. John. I follow her. She's the marketing manager of Netflix, right? She is Ghanaian, by the way. But yeah, she's the marketing manager of Netflix globally and is very often in Ghana. Um, it's a whole thing. Like, so many Americans were here. Many more stars, but I can't recall all of them. But it happened because the Ghanaian tourism board has started this campaign right beyond our year of the return in 2019, when also Jada and Will Smith, Cardi B, everyone was here in Ghana. And now they have the Beyond the Return campaign. So they basically promote Ghana as a hub to come to Africa, come to enjoy the African experience, because it's very international, as I say. Accra is very international, the capital city. So it's a soft landing compared to other African countries. And then from here, you can venture out and start your trade. Another thing to know is that since January 2020, there is a free trade agreement, which means that within African countries, there is tax-free trade. Like, there was this whole thing back in the day, So those are things. I'm even starting. let me just show it to you. I'm even starting another product. This is Shea Butter. It's very good for your skin and everything. It's Ghanaian. I'm also creating. This is one of the samples that we're making now. A skincare line, which I want to not only to the US or Europe, but also to other African countries. So I have my hand in a lot of things and real estate will come as well. I have done real estate in Europe, but here there are also many opportunities. So just come.
That's what I'm interested in. I'm interested in the real estate and promotion business. So I'm definitely gonna come there and do some promotions with you. Hey, you know what's crazy? This chain right here that I have on, it's from Ghana. It's handmade.
Really?
Yeah, my friend. I had a friend that went to Ghana and she brought it back for me.
Amazing. Yep. So it's no coincidence because from meeting each other, you didn't know I was here. So you know, it's just energy bringing together.
I knew you. Right. Yeah. Yep. So it's destined for me to come there.
Yes.
But yeah. So that'll take me into the products and services a little bit. I'm actually interested in getting raw materials from Ghana, you know, to bring over here and create products and services. That's another thing that's important that we have to do. I don't know if you're familiar with Marcus Garvey, but that's someone else I studied. Marcus Garvey, he was a forerunner of the Pan-African movement in America.
Okay.
And he was actually trying to bridge the gap between the Africans on the continent of Africa and the Africans in America. And he wanted us to do trade with Africa. He wanted us to do commerce with Africa. Mm-hmm. So, building that commercial relationship is something that's very important to the upliftment of our community and us building wealth and having having generational wealth and us, actually being back in the forefront of the world. Because I see everything as a competition. I study somebody named Dr. Claude Anderson. I don't know if you're familiar with Dr. Claude Anderson.
I really study at you because you know all those names. I'm like, oh my God, I don't know anything.
It's a book. I got this book right here called Powernomics.
Okay.
This would be a great book right here to read. But he talks about that in that book, Dr. Claude Anderson. He talks about building wealth, and one thing that our people don't really understand is the wealth building is a competition. Like all races, they play a competition. They play the wealth game is played. The economic game is played. It's played it's like a competition. So it's played as a team. It's a team sport. That's what I want to say. Like I get a little nervous on camera, so
no. I don't notice. But some people are listening in, so they don't know. No, but it really goes well. So it's great.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
But it's played as a team sport. So you see Jews, Asians, Arabs, everybody play it as a team. Everybody circulate their money within their own community. Our people don't really do that. And everybody, what he speaks about in the book is Jews, they can go to Jerusalem. They can do commerce with Jerusalem. They have a power base outside of America. Arabs, they have a power base outside of America, that's so-called Middle East. They can go home to the Middle East and do commerce. The Asians here, they have a power base. They can go to Asia and they get resources and they trade with their country and they able to monetize their businesses doing business with the people on their continent. Blacks, we don't have that. You know what I'm saying? We just basically out here on our own. So like us building that gap and building the bridge with our brothers and sisters on the continent is something that's very important, so that we can have somewhere to go. We can have someone to do commerce with. We can get raw materials, bring them here, ship them, do import, export, as you said.
Yes.
And that's where wealth really comes from. When you get the raw materials, resources is more important than money.
But
the reason why you want to get the money is so that you can get the resources. So that's something that, we definitely into.
You really need to make sure that you plan to come at least this year, 2022, to Ghana. Make sure you're here. Is there any last things that you want to say to people watching or listening to this, in regards to your company, or maybe just an advice you want to give to the youth who, maybe younger people are also listening in right now. So.
Well, before I go, I'm going to talk about the brands. I have Black Wallstreet Empire, like I said earlier, we have several things that we into. We into land acquisition, real estate, education, working with the youth. But one thing that in the times that we're living in today, branding is very important, and controlling our own culture is very important. So I created some brand products really as residual income and cash flow income. And now in 2022, I want to become more focused on building the brands up. One of the reasons why I'm here, nationally, internationally, digitally, I want to get a lot more money through the internet digitally. But it's not just so much about generating money. It's also about controlling our culture. Mm-hmm. And one thing that we haven't done in the past, but we have the opportunities to do now because of the internet and the way, everything is at the click of a button. You can get distribution at the click of a button. You can get natural resources and you can get wholesale prices at the click of a button. So we have the opportunities to create brands and change the minds of our people to support these brands and not support the mainstream brands, through marketing. We have those opportunities to do those nowadays. So I created a fragrance line, which the people can go get. And this is King Ra cologne and Sister 7 perfume. And one of the reasons why I really wanted to focus on promoting these is the brands is created. It doesn't cost me a lot to produce those brands, but I get a lot of great feedback from them. So I felt like it was time for me to really start pushing them and promoting them a lot harder. That's why I reached out to the gig market, and I'm doing a lot of digital marketing on these brands. And it's just us, I through studying Dr. Claude Anderson in Powernomics, he talks about us going into businesses and creating brands and industries that we have competitive advantages in. So I feel like one of the industries, I don't have a lot of time to go into everything, but one of the industries that our people have a competitive advantage in is the fragrance industry and the clothing industry too. I have a clothing line as well. So like entertainment, clothing, it all goes together. It's basically urban. Think that an urban market that we basically spend most of our money in. So I feel like we should control what I studied from Dr. Claude Anderson is we should control those anything that Black people spend their money in, spend the majority of their money in. We should control those markets from the business side of it, as well as if we the main consumers, we should control those from the business end. Yeah. So I really don't have time I ain't get time to go into all that. Maybe I'll come back in the future.
Yeah, we have to do another
one. I want to tell these people about these brands right here. This is King Ra Cologne, especially to your international audience. They want to go get these King Ra Cologne, Sister 7 perfume. The name King Ra itself is something that our people should support, especially on the continent, because that's the ancient Egyptian sun god right there. Yes. Ra, that's the sun god. That's African culture. That's about as African as it can get right there.
One of the sun god Ra. Because this book has two suns. That's why it's called Black Suns, like the suns in the sky. One of the suns' name is Ra.
Right. I looked in the book. I see you got the I checked it out. You got the unk in the book and everything. I like that. So I know
I have some history.
I checked it out. Yeah, I see you throwing the you putting it in there subtly. I see that.
So the perfume is called King Ra, and then you have the other one. It's called.
The cologne is called King Ra. This is for men right here.
Okay.
Then the perfume is called Sister 7. Now the name Sister 7, of course, sister is representing our ladies, our feminine. I mean our women, our brown sisters, Black sisters. But 7 is a sacred number. That's the number of law. 7 is a number of law. That's a real sacred number to in our community, to our people, and historically, our culture. That number 7. So like the fragrance is named after us. It's our culture right here. So that's why our people should go out and support that. And it smells great. I'm gonna send you a bottle. I'm gonna send you a bottle with the Sister 7. Yeah, like when you hit me on the back channel. Yeah, now hit me on the back channels that we've been conversating on, so I can know where to send it to. But I'm gonna send you this. You gotta hit the continent with this. When you hit the continent with this, I'm telling you, like you might have 5 or 6 husbands after you wear this to one of those parties. But that those names right there is sacred to our community, and it's really about controlling our culture. We really have to control our culture. Next time I come back, I'm gonna talk about the clothing line and everything. But I have a clothing line, Boss Life. But it's just about us controlling our culture. I believe that if we spend the majority of our money in a particular market, we should have some control of that on the business end as well. Yes. And that's what I'm trying to build.
Definitely, it's so needed. And I think that also ties into good advice for people listening. Like, be aware what you invest in, what you buy, and see if you can create, your own business from that. Because I mean, even people are now doing it sometimes with stocks. You buy, I don't know, Nike shoes, so you have Nike stocks, but still you're buying into the company. Of course, you can get your dividends payment if your stock rises, but use those payments to create something, and still, I mean, we are doing it step by step, all of us, but there's a long way to go, and I'm happy that you are taking this leap of faith, and with your co-founders as well. And I hope to see you soon on the continent, and also soon on this podcast again, so that we can
I
talk
definitely.
further.
Yeah, I really ain't had time to go into everything. We got
I
the
know,
conversation.
but we will come back
about the continent. Yeah, I would want to hear what you was talking about. Pretty much, about what's going on the continent.
Yeah,
I
we
really
went
ain't
a
have
little
time.
longer.
I'll be back.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's why I
be
say we
back.
have to do it again, because we went a little. Because sometimes I keep the podcast pretty short, but it depends, because if the conversation is good, we can extend. But then let's plan another one, and
I'll be back.
Yeah, and then
my spring clothing line is dropping in April, so I'm gonna come back then.
Okay, that's amazing.
And I have a chance to go in for real.
Yes, that's so good, because I have also an amazing conversation planned with another Black author from the US, and she's also writing children's books, not science fiction book, but other. It's so amazing. So I will have some things with her as well, and she also has a large following. So really now I'm creating this whole community of our people. Tomorrow I'm talking to the Cultured Base. I will connect you with them as well. They are the founder. She is a Dutch Surinamese like me, but she has set up culturedbase.com, which is basically a platform for Black owned businesses from all over. So there are now a lot of people from the Netherlands, like Black and brown people from the Netherlands on it. But she's really expanding internationally. So I think also it will be great if you guys, so I will send the website and her Instagram as well, and tell her that you can, that you guys can have contact, because she wants to have a lot of Black owned businesses from all over on her website. So
I'm there for sure.
Yeah.
Shout out to everybody in Ghana too.
Yes.
Shout out to Ghana. Shout out to the continent. Black power.
Black power, exactly.
African power, global African power.
Thank you for being here. I'm so appreciate this call, and for everyone, go to blackwallstreetempire.com, and they can also find you on Instagram, blackwallstreetempire.com, and then _7, right?
Yep, _7. Yep.
Yes. So
we ship to Africa too.
Yes.
So I'm gonna send you that bottle.
I mean, there's DHL here.
Let your Africans know. Let your Africans know about it.
Yes, I will definitely. And I mean, when you ship it, it's here in a couple of days. I mean, it's so fast. Everything is so fast now. So nothing is. Right. The world has become small. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Thank you for listening to Jungo Vibes, the podcast for creative entrepreneurs. Don't forget to subscribe to your preferred podcast service and watch us on YouTube. See you next episode.